be live. We should be live. Good evening, chaps. If we are on your screens now. Sorry for the 3-4 minute delay. We're here. We're alive. And we're live. A cheeky little tweet. Yeah, mate. How are you doing?
Done the same sort of. I'm good. I'm great, Harry. Thanks for having me back on. I'm really glad we set this up from last week because, as I was explaining to you, like just before we came on, I've had quite a relaxed day. I've just been preparing, like all my stuff's in the evening. I can just kind of meander about and kind of prepare stuff and think about stuff, content, and whatever videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm getting that kind of vibe of. Especially like when I was on last week, I'd just done that big trade that I was talking about, and I'm probably not really shutting up about, so I'm sorry for anyone who's sick of hearing about it, but it was a pretty big deal for me. But like, I'm feeling like Thanos at the end of, Avengers. He walks out his wee hut and he's in his garden. He's like, "Oh, fucking done it!" Like
I've made it.
I've
made it.
When I look at that gallery, I'm like, "Yeah, it's fucking round, man." I'm just can't wait. I'm really glad we've got a real game week to go through. And it does feel like, we're only a couple of weeks away from European pre-season starting. And when we get European pre-season starting, then it's...
We're cooking. We're cooking big time, aren't we? Yeah, it really is. Just looking at some of the comments we've had so far. Gaza says we're on the big screen. So thank you for that, Gaza. Jargi's in the building. David, Weaselmont, Alex, Scotty, Chrissy Quirk as well was top of the list, I think. So yeah, thank you all for joining. This evening. But yeah, like you said, Jesus, how long have we had to wait for a game week that doesn't consist of international fucking fixtures? Jesus Christ. Absolutely killed me. I've won a bit of ETH, I'll be honest. Like, it hasn't been the end of the world. We've obviously had the ETH crash in that time as well. But Jesus, it's a bit of a blessing to have a quote-unquote normal game week, even though, like you said, we don't have European football just quite yet. Some teams are coming back for pre-season soon. Like you said, it's really heating up. And yeah, one random little segue that we could go into straight away is, did you see the Fabio Vieira news?
I did, yeah. It feels like the under-23s from Challenger Europe are just getting picked off into Champion Euro one by one.
They're just getting sniped, aren't they?
They're all getting taken away from their nice little houses in Portugal and Holland and all these places, and they're going to England and they're going to the bench.
Freezing cold bench. Nah. Yeah, that came out of nowhere though. Like, I was in the gym earlier and I saw the tweet from either Fabrizio or what's the guy who does the Zach Lowy or Zach Lowe, whatever his name is. I saw him quote tweet somebody saying Vieira's going to Arsenal. I was like, what, have they got this mixed up with Vitinha? Like, what is going on here? Because I do have a Fabio Vieira. I'm a big fan of his. And I was like, hang on a minute, this can't be right. I spoke to Perez. Perez was like, it doesn't look right, but it might be. And then an hour later, he's on the plane and he's having a medical tomorrow. So it's just like, it's so unpredictable, man. It doesn't matter how much you want to prepare. There's only so much you can do. I always say it. We're so out of, not so much out of the loop, but it's just so much out of our control, man. What can you do? Like, you're holding a potential top 5 under 23 player for next season, albeit he was, under the rotations of the Porto manager last year. You're thinking, okay, this year maybe Vitinha moves because he looks the most likely to, played in the Premier League before. You think, he's got a clear run at it. He's going to the top in terms of challenger under 23 mids. And then he moves to Arsenal for 40 million. It's just like, you just can't write it. As much as you want to try and guess where this guy's going, where this guy's not going, what can you do, man?
Yep, totally. And I think, to be quite honest with you, I don't think he will go on the bench. I think Arteta's going to try and start him. But, it's the whole Prem jump, And it's funny because I say the same thing about South America. Like, quite often when you see guys come out of the big team, or just high prospects that come out of Argentina and Brazil, so many of them come into Europe, Challenger Europe, and Champion, I suppose, and get into starting 11s very quickly. And, getting into the Prem especially is one of the harder, routes to trod, especially from Challenger Europe. So it'll be one of these ones, like, obviously it happened to Lokonga last year with Arsenal. He got minutes right early and he showed some promise, but I think any Lokonga holders last year will tell you it was definitely not a successful first season for him. So who knows how it'll actually pan out. But I've just seen a comment there from David Taylor as well, talking about, you know, all the under-23 chat we've had in the past, and this channel and other ones about, you know, safe options, challenger, transfer danger, that kind of stuff. I actually dropped an under-23 value video on my channel, I think earlier today or yesterday, and all those guys are Bundesliga champ hero, and that's part of the thing you get with some of those guys is like, yeah, like, you know, they might not start 95% of matches, they might start 2/3 of them, but like, you know, if they transfer from there to challenger, that's a big improvement. And if they move up, they're so good where they're going to go up in the champion rankings, if you like, then they'll be kicking ass and taking names when they do play. So it's different ways, different strokes for different folks.
It really is. And like, I know it's probably hard to compare a Luis Diaz to a Fabio Vieira. Okay, they both come from the same team, so you know there's more of a comparison than maybe a Lokonga, but Lokonga's closer in age. I just think like people do write off these lads who do move to the Premier League too soon, and I know we have probably more examples of guys quote unquote flopping or not fitting in straight away, like your Lokongas compared to Luis Diaz's. But like, give him a chat. Like, give him a chance. I'm seeing people on Sorare. I mean, I don't know if he's still up right now, but there was a Vieira up for like 0.8 ETH, which was like 700 quid. And I know if somebody wants liquidity, fair enough. Like right away, it's up to them. Like, who am I to say you shouldn't sell him? But like, I don't know. I just always think give him a chance. I know it's a tough league. We all know this. Like, we're not stupid. I'm looking now. Actually, it's not up anymore. There's one up for 0.94. So maybe that one was bought. What's even funnier is though, I'll show you on the screen right now. My God.
Musical chairs.
There we go. Look at this. This is from a bid that was already in, if that makes sense.
3 days ago.
Yeah. So this is a 1.4 1.4 ETH card when you can basically buy them on the market now for 0.94, albeit the older card. But still, that just shows how, you know, maybe getting in soon on a player in a transfer window can sort of backfire. And I know we can't expect these things, but you have to be aware of these things. Like, you know, this guy bought him for 1.4 ETH 22 hours ago. It's just like, it's such a brutal game, isn't it?
Yeah. And that type of thing is definitely one that's not definitely not thought about often enough, you know, because like, well, do you know that like you say, you can write off these guys far too easily. One of the cards I had a lot of success with when I started my account was Gabriel Magalhaes. He was actually the first card I bought, and it was because, like, you know, I expected him to do really well in transfer, and then I had him for 3 months, and he made the move to Arsenal, and I got, like, you know, in the game weeks where I got podiums, and I think I've been on the podium in the period I owned him and a few other cards. I got podium like 4 times, and he was a part of 2 of them. And he scored 100 against Man United one time. He got a goal and stuff. Again, like, he's been in and out of the team, but like, they don't all flop. You're right. You know, look at that last 5, man. That's a sexy chart. You know, for a Prem defender. Give me that all day of the week.
Jesus Christ, it's like Fofana as well. I know he's been in the Prem for a little longer, albeit had a really bad injury, but these young guys can fit in. Like, it's not as if there's a reason why they're being bought. Like you have to look at the facts. The fact is, Arteta believes the Fabio Vieira is good enough to play in the Premier League, because you wouldn't pay 45 million of his release clause to do so. I know he's young, so time to bet in, but ultimately the Prem doesn't give you time, unfortunately. Seen it with Lokonga. If you're not good enough in the first 5 to 10 games, there's going to be somebody who can take your place ultimately. And I'm not saying that can't happen to Fabio Vieira, but ultimately, like, he's going there for a good enough reason, I believe. And I've seen enough of him, albeit in the Portuguese league, to where I see him as, in a weird way, like a better version of Odegaard. And I know people are probably going to slate me for that. He's obviously, Odegaard's a bit older, a bit more experienced and stuff. But from what I see, like, his qualities, I think he offers something different to Odegaard, even though they're like stupidly similar, if that makes sense. Like, there's similar you're going to get, but there's just a few little tweaks. I go, hang on a minute, this guy could be a better version of Odegaard. Like, why would you buy him if you didn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have Odegaard, why in the world would you buy a Fabio Vieira really to sit on the bench for a year, 2 years and let him rot? Like, I don't think Arteta can afford to do that, if that makes sense.
I didn't know he was that type of player, more Odegaard. I thought he was more Lokonga, which is why I
okay.
To be honest with
No,
you.
no. To be fair, he's more of a like I'd say Vitinha is more closer to Lokonga in the sense of like plays more like number
Box to box.
6. Yeah, like Vieira's just got an absolute wonder of a left foot. He's very similar to Ozil. Like, and I know what happened to Ozil,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
ultimately he's
Good
basically
Ozil.
he's got a left foot that's like made of gold, and I'm not just hyping him up. It's unbelievable. He's a bit like he's very skinny, so he might need to bulk up a little bit, but he's just so sharp. Best way to describe him: he is a younger Bernardo Silva.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
And Zach Lowe has said it as well. So I'm not just saying it because he said it, but let me see if I can find the tweet. There's a tweet somewhere that says that he basically said he has the best left foot I've seen since what's his name?
Bernardo.
Bernardo. Sorry, yeah. I don't know if I can find the exact tweet, but it's just it's an interesting one. We'll see how it sort of plans out. It's like what happens with Nunez. Do we think Nunez just goes crazy for Liverpool?
Yeah, I think I don't know. Nunez is a funny one, right? Because I'm a huge fan of Nunez, obviously, and he is like. I think the thing the Premier League is going to discover with Nunez is he's much closer to being Cavani than he is Luis Suarez when it comes to Uruguayan strikers. He is not like he is a clinical finisher, right? But as we all know, prime Cavani has 4 big chances missed for a goal. Idea. Darwin has shades of that in him, and he's also got the big power press. He can counter attack very effectively. He's not as good in the air as you would expect him to be. He scored some nice headers, so if you go and look at his highlights, that might sound stupid, but like he's not as dominant in the air as you'd think he is. But where I think the real number one, right, is I don't see Liverpool playing him through the middle, right? Because I don't think he's got the passing game to do what Firmino or Jota does in there. So then it becomes, right, okay, he's going to take Mane's spot. But Luis Diaz has been kicking ass and taking names in that spot as well, and that's why Mane played centrally, and he's not gonna take this. So I don't really see definitely where you get the most out of him in the team, and I think that's probably a big part of the problem that might happen.
So. Yeah, I think his price is. I know, like in fiat, it doesn't look crazy right now, but I think his price is a bit crazy. But I think that's off the back of like what I mentioned with the Diaz thing. Like I remember when Diaz first moved, his price didn't like plummet, but I'm sure it went down a little bit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
With this Darwin, with these transfers now, it's almost like because that happened and he was the blueprint of moving to Liverpool and just crushing. It seems like the people think, well, Darwin's going to do the exact same. He's come from same league and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think they just think automatically he's just going to go crazy. Or is that me just being naive to him being like an incredible player?
The other reservation I've got around this move is most, especially Liverpool fans, will definitely remember, is Klopp's first 6 months with the bulk of this squad, there was all sorts of injuries, like when he took over, like in the first 6 months to a year when they were getting to finals but not closing them and coming second but not quite making it before they always had injuries reoccurring because of the training methods, because of the play style, etc., as well as the workload, the amount of games and fixtures that they're going through because they're going deep in all the competitions. Darwin Nunez had a significant surgery last summer, played most of last season, and I wouldn't be surprised if after a couple of months of training at Liverpool, we see this guy frequently having to be controlled his minutes. If touch wood, don't want anything bad to happen to the lad, but since he's had that injury, if you look at his minutes with Benfica, he'll get a couple of goals and get subbed off, or he'll come off the bench and get a couple of goals. He's not really been a full regular 90-minute guy. I don't think Liverpool would expect that from him, but it does raise questions over can he go to Liverpool and do what Liverpool does, and can he score goals? Will he score goals? Definitely. Will he get assists? Maybe. But that's more my reservations on him is maybe he gets in there and they see, man, this guy's actually a bit softer, and then he's a bench player for the start, and then it's a lack of confidence maybe takes in, or I'm more worried about Liverpool buying him. I think there's better teams that he could have went to, but because Liverpool is so intense and so front foot orientated, he can do it, but it does increase the chance that something maybe goes wrong, or maybe the Cavani element of him comes out more, and you see maybe this guy needs 6 chances, to get out, and that's not going to cut it at that level.
True. I know he's a bit younger, but do you think he's better than Jota? as a false 9-9 type of. Obviously, he's a 9 Darwin, bit bigger and stuff. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, is he better than Jota?
I am a big fan of Darwin Nunez. Everything I've been saying for the last 2 minutes is like wholly negative, but it's mainly my reservations over this move. But I am a big fan, and I think if they get it right with him in the middle, like you're not going to get the same link-up play and that same real. So I think with Firmino, you get great passing and great link-up, right? And with
But you get no pace. Yeah.
And with Jota, you get a rat. You get a guy that's going to go everywhere, really tidy, and is not selfish at all. Like he can go, if he goes and presses down 2 guys, forces an error, manages to recover the ball, the first thing he's going to do is look to pass. He's not going to think about shooting,
Yeah.
So I don't think Darwin gives you either of them. I think Darwin through the middle will do most of the pressing stuff that a Jota could do or whatever. But again, reservations over long-term fitness.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Georgie says Nunes is a different player to Jota. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're different players. One's a foot taller than the other one. Like they possess different qualities, but they're similar in the sense, like you said, they'll both work hard, and they'll sort of like really work hard for those goals, and yeah, just lead from the front. Josh says Arsenal are notorious for injuries, so adding depth could be good for them. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Nashi says, "What's up, boys? Good news for us Gakpo holders. Given Arsenal main link, not sure how much they have to spend this summer." Yeah, Nashi. Well, thank you for watching. First of all, and yeah, I mean, I'm still holding my Gakpo, and I'm sure you are. I don't know if you sold your rare after, or you kept the super. I think you still got the super, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, if Gabriel Jesus, I mean, it's not done, but I'd like to think that probably happens maybe to Arsenal. Then you'd like to think the Gakpo rumours to Arsenal are probably nil and void at that point. Which I'm more than happy with, to be completely honest. I'd much prefer. I've been saying it for months on content. Like, I just don't think he's done enough. Like, I don't think one good season in the Eredivisie warrants like a crazy move. And I know we've just seen Fabio Vieira just play half a season basically and get a Premier League move. But I don't know. I just thought Ruud van Nistelrooy's just moved there as their manager. He's probably looked up to him for a long time, being a Netherlands youngster, whatever. I don't know. I just think it was probably. I mean, I could eat my words here, but I do think he needs one more season to just smash it, if that makes sense. He might not. It could backfire, and he might not get those goals and assist numbers that he did last year, which were very, very good. Don't get me wrong. Whether he can match that / suppress it is going to be surpass it. Sorry, is going to be tough. But if he is that good of a player, he will do that, and then maybe get his 50, 60, 70 million pound move. Is maybe what the PSV guys are thinking, rather than getting a 30, 40 right now. So yeah, for me and Nashi, hopefully big Gakpo does stay with us.
I think the difference with Gakpo and like Darwin, for example, is like Darwin had some Champions League goals which gave him profile and gave him credibility when teams were linked with him, and like, oh, Darwin, remember how good he was in Champions League against this team and that team. And I think Darwin's main strength for this Liverpool team, I'm just kind of thinking about it as we're talking, but like, when Liverpool do break, like he can keep up with the break and he can get the tap-ins from Salah and Diaz, or Mane is like basically out the door at this point, isn't he? So, I think if that's what they're relying on, I think he could be a great card next year, but it's just one of those ones I'm a wee bit got reservations on it. I was actually just looking as well at Marius AKB in the live chat is saying he had the Benfica stack with Grimaldo, Rafa and Darwin, and people don't understand how good Rafa is and how important he was. He and Grimaldo for Darwin. And definitely service was a big part of Benfica, and that's the thing we get with Benfica and with Porto in their divisions especially, is there's supreme dominance when you've got the technical players with the deliveries, in Portugal, at Porto, Benfica, Sporting. And we've seen as well, Palfina, or one of these other guys at Sporting Lisbon, he's transferred as well.
I've seen that. To Fulham, is that right?
Fulham or Spurs or Wolves or...
Yeah, is it Joel Pal? Is it something like that?
Yeah, Palfina or something. He's moved today as well. I've seen his news before the Fabio Vieira news. And I was like, woof, man, it's all happening today. The U23s at Portugal.
I saw that. Wasn't it like 18 million?
It was a decent sum, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was a decent chunk of change. Because he's the one that's been, this guy, yeah, okay, 20 mil. I'm sure he's come off the bench a few times for the Portuguese national team, if I'm not mistaken.
That rings a bell.
I've watched him play a few times. He's solid, to be fair. Yeah, this guy, I know him. I know his face. Yeah, I mean, that Rafa Silva reminds me a lot of Jota. They're very similar players, I think, in terms, small, agile, quick, assist merchants, kind of, even though Jota's more of a selfish player, I guess. David says, Stefan, I think it's Badic, I don't know how you say it, but looks to be moving to Bristol City. Yeah, I saw that actually, David. Yeah, the Saint Etienne goalie, Quinny.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
recognize
apparently
his spelling.
he's
Nice.
gone to Bristol City on like a 3-year deal. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that means he's going to start necessarily for Bristol City. It's a funny story, actually. I don't know. My Bristol City kid's not up, but that's the academy I used to play for. And the kid in my academy at the time was a centre back, and now he's one of the first team goalies at Bristol City, basically, which is just mad.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
he was literally a centre half when I was 10, and now he's a professional goalkeeper. So yeah, whether he's better than this kid, I don't know. I mean, the kid that's my age, he's 24-ish now, 25. So Badger's got 4 or 5 years less experience, I guess, but could be a good move for him. I mean, Championship's wicked if you can play utility wise,
Yeah, for sure. It's a good move.
Yeah, that could be a very good move. Georgie says Solomon is going to Fulham too. He'll be very good there. That's the Israeli guy, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Solomon's get a high ceiling for sure. But again, but when I see guys like Solomon go to teams like Fulham, I think they'll get hot for 3 months and everyone will be like, oh, they're going to go to Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea. And then, and actually on that note, Yves Bissouma today signs for Tottenham, I think, as well, from Brighton.
Yeah.
So sometimes, those guys do come good all the way and move up a level. But Solomon, like these kind of Stardust guys, like, if you can track them, they will hit good, for a while. Talent does shine in the Prem when you get the stars aligned with fixtures and form and all that good stuff.
100%. Yeah, there's quite. Go on.
The one guy that springs to my mind when I think about that, I don't know if you remember him, but there's a guy called Zaki that played for Wigan. I don't know if you remember him. Do you remember Amar Zaki? Yeah. He was really good for 2 months, and every goal he scored was a worldie. And Wigan got him in on loan from Egypt, and then it was like, oh my God.
I was going to say, was he Egyptian? Yeah, I was going to say it.
Yeah, and then it was like, he's going to go to Man United, he's going to go to Real Madrid, and and it never went anywhere.
Yeah, sounds about right. MK Production says, my goal is to get 5 Championship players. The utility in that league is insane. I remember Mido as well. Yeah, to get 5 champ players will be tough going, won't it? I mean, yeah, it will be tough going, especially 5 to start. But I'm sure there'll be a few loanees from Premier League clubs and clubs elsewhere. We saw like one of your boys, Taylor Hardwood-Bellis.
Yep.
Van Heck. There was a few lads last year. So yeah, you can find players. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it won't be an easy thing to do. Solomon will beat every Premier League fullback one-on-one situations. He is top quality. I mean, we'll see about that. I mean, I'm sure you'll beat Trent, but just
Harry,
kidding. But yeah, go on, mate.
Let me ask you this. I've taken a wee nosy at the screen here. You've picked up a Tyler Adams.
I did, yeah.
Explain.
So this was not random, but it was a big coincidence, actually. I filmed a planning for my World Cup under-23 video, right?
Cool. Yep.
On Monday, maybe. And it went out, whatever. I think I put it out on Wednesday, so it was like a 2-day delay. But on that Monday, after I filmed the video, I was just scrolling through the market like I do now and again, and I saw somebody put a Tyler Adams up for £144. But the guy who did that only bought him the night before, which you can see here, for 137, which I thought was stupidly cheap anyway. So he made an ETH gain. He also made a fiat gain technically as well. And the funny story to that is I was looking for a midfielder for my World Cup, team, basically, an under-23 one, and I went through Sorare data and I went through the whole list of like 400 midfielders, and Tyler's actual name didn't pop up exactly because I couldn't filter just playing at World Cup, of course, right? So I'm looking through everyone effectively, and then at the end of the video, I basically say there is a few other options especially from the US team, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, because they didn't come up on the video exactly, and literally an hour later, I ended up buying one. It was just really random, but. Yeah, basically, I needed a rare midfielder that's going to play at the World Cup effectively. And yeah, one of the reasons why I've bought him, obviously plays for a good domestic team as well. And I rate him. I'm not, like I mentioned, he's not going to set the world alight SO5 wise, as we probably know. But I'm sure he can improve on last season. And he's not going to be my guy under 23 midfielder, but he's just there for £144. I couldn't leave him there, to be completely honest.
I think he's been heavily linked to Leeds. I don't know if you've seen this, but he's been heavily linked to Leeds. So the reason I wanted to ask is I actually think if he stays at I've been thinking about Leipzig's midfield a fair wee bit over the last month, right? So at the moment, Conrad Leimer, who we spoke about actually in the last stream because he's only got a couple of cards. He is heavily linked to Bayern Munich, and I think Nagelsmann fancies him so much that's going to happen. So what that then leaves with Leipzig, the midfield four players that they have, like to play the two centre mid jobs in essence, is Campo, Adams, Haidara, and maybe you can say Forsberg, but probably not Forsberg. So it's those three guys really, and if you can be like, if you look at Conrad Leimer's scores, even if you look at Adams when he does start, like Adams is double, triple, and triple, double, and triple, triple capable. Like he's got that in his game. He's a tackler. He's a passer. He's a six. He's a good six. But he fancies himself as an 8. So he can pass a bit as well. He can go forward. And I don't know. I think if Leeds, Jesse Marsh, I think if he went there, like he's got every chance of being like a guy that can get 15 AA points. Like
comfortably,
without much fuss, and then if you want any more, you're asking for they may be playing a crap team or he gets a decisive or something.
100%.
Leipzig, same thing.
Yeah, I just thought for that amount of money, I know we're in a bit of a fiat dip and whatever, and with these tanking and stuff, I just looked at it and thought, hang on a minute, there's no way he should be £144. So yeah, maybe we'll see if it turns out to be a good move or not. But like you said, he might, if he does move, then hopefully Jesse March can sort of. I think I just read then that he made his US debut under him. Would that be right?
He came through Red Bull when Jesse Marsh was there, like Red Bull New York.
Wow, okay.
And stuff like that. So and also as well, like Calvin Phillips is moving to Man City, so like it's the same kind of position and whatever. And if he's just brought Brendan Aronson, who he signed for Salzburg, so like he's got form for bringing players, So the links, I think if Leeds make a bid, I think he would want to make the move. Americans profile Premier League, you can
World Cup coming up. Yeah, it just makes makes sense. Yeah. So, someone just said they picked up a Henderson for £170.
Wow. It's not bad.
Seems too cheap, that.
It's not young.
No, not young, I guess, but I'm sure you'll give you a bit of utility next season. Economist says, just catching up, be careful with Badic. Bentley has been good and won't get dropped, in my opinion. Okay, interesting. Yeah, initially when I saw the news drop, it didn't seem like to me that he's going to go in and be number one as a 20-year-old moving from, relegated St. Etienne. I know he's highly rated and stuff, but it just doesn't seem that probable. Where like Okoye coming from Rotherham or Sparta Rotterdam, obviously played a load of seasons already, a bit older, but he's probably going to. International is just like chances are he's probably going to start, isn't he? Ben Foster just retired. Well, is he retired or just left? I saw he's left Watford. I'm not sure if he's retired or not exactly. So that was kind of my thinking with that sort of championship situation. Georgie says, what do I think of Levitt? James says, got to get another loan move surely. I mean, I don't rate Levitt, to be completely honest. When I watch him play for Wales, he's shocking. Like he played, he had one good game. Was it Poland? He played well and he scored well on Sorare because of it. Ever since that game, I think he played. Who did he play against? We'll see now. It must have been that Netherlands game. I know it's one game, but he was absolutely horrendous. And I mean like really, really bad. But yeah, I don't see him being like a Premier League footballer like that. Sure. He's like, you can compare him to James Garner, right? James Garner just got promoted with Notts Forest. I think they're both maybe the exact same age, both at United, of course, whatever, both on loan. One's going to Dundee and one's getting promoted with Notts Forest. There's a reason for that. We have to deal with facts ultimately. One's gone to the Scottish League and one's got promoted with, a championship team. But don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but I don't see him. He might play championship football if he's lucky. And that's just going off him as like what he possesses as a player. Like he's not electric fast. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not unbelievably fit. I don't know. Tony Watt might disagree with me playing with him, but I watch him enough for Wales, and I know it's international football. I just don't think he's not it. I can guarantee you that.
No, fair enough. I was just laughing at
Yeah.
Score in the live chat saying biggest news of the day is Curly Toes is his own up here. Andy Considine signed for It's not my joke. I can't take credit for it.
That's funny. I've heard of that name. Why do I know that name?
Andy Considine, he's like 36.
Yeah.
He's played for Aberdeen forever.
Okay, fair.
Andrew, I think you need to put in Andrew Considine.
Fair.
But he's part of the reason the whole Boogie Boys thing started. Like, I don't know if you know anything
about that. I know. Yeah.
He's in a music video to that song, and like, there's guys who do Scottish football podcasts, and they just slated him for it.
Open goal, yeah.
Open goal, yeah. And then
that's funny.
Curly Toes. So he's staying on. He's went to St Johnstone. Probably will play most of the time.
Okay, interesting.
Who knows? Maybe he doesn't play at all. But they barely got. Yeah. St Johnstone should have got. Oh, they shouldn't. They were in a relegation playoff and survived. So they are like a bottom end team, highly experienced SPL player. I guess the theory is from Score, the big man Considine here is going to get minutes. But
fair play, bit of utility. Joshy Foyth has just joined. Thank you for joining, Josh. I'm back in the UK on the 7th of July, so a couple of weeks from now. Looking forward to seeing you at the meetup. MK says, are we building teams this stream? We will be building teams. I'm sure we'll sort of transition into that basically right now, if Quinny's up for doing so.
Yeah, my teams are built already, so I'm just going to show you what I've got. But
no worries. I mean, we can have a little look at the game week itself and just quickly scan over.
I've been building my teams for about a month.
Yeah, I've done the same, but I've done a bit of adjustments today. So yeah, just having a look quickly now at what's on offer, rewards wise, participation wise, and then we'll get into some lineup building. Yeah. So casual league, we got the special 3 Are you involved in this week, Quinny?
Nah, not for me this week. No.
Okay, 6,400. Quite a few people joining that. To be fair, what about the special weekly, the super rare? Is that something that?
No, I've just I think that as well. Like I've just trimmed down a lot of super rares, but these things now uniques are allowed into them, which is great for all these people that have uniques and stuff. But I think it makes it hard. It would have made it a wee bit harder for me in my kind of bum average super rares. And
no, it makes sense.
It's funny, right? Because all they are at that point is an avatar. You know, like they're not necessarily like a unique or a super rare because there's no XP bonuses in these divisions.
True.
That's basically true. That is just basically a token saying you can have, you know, a Kyogo. So it doesn't matter if it's a super rare or a unique or whatever. But it's just more variety available for the people that have these cards. You know, I'm hoping to go in these divisions where their lack of variety can be my strength, if that makes sense. And I know it's not a big difference, but I'm not competing in it, and I'm not got the ability to compete in it. But I think I would be a wee bit annoyed at that if I still had the desire to compete.
The supers. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Specialist rare this week. We've got 12 supers on offer. I'm not sure if you're involved in this, but kind of tasty, I guess, for the people who are playing so. Di Maria at the top would be a nice little win. Just having a look. Veroni, that would be a lovely super rare to win.
Yeah.
On the back of maybe a move this upcoming transfer window. And then we've got obviously the special weeklies, limiteds. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Obviously, we've got Asia back this weekend, so obviously bigger prize pool. Same for America, MLS, Argentina. Mexico back this weekend?
I couldn't tell you. I don't think so.
I'm not sure, to be fair. I guess we could have a quick look. So we've got the Peruvian. We've got MLS. Brazil. Show more matches. Argentina. And then, that's it. Interesting. So Argentina, Brazil, MLS, or American and Peruvian.
All but the Americans.
Yeah, 100%. 10,000 in All-Star Limited. Interesting stuff. Just under 3,000 in the under 23s.
Under 200 people at the moment in under 23 Pro. That's actually kind of exciting to me. There's not that many people in it.
No, that's not, is it? Well, I mean, I haven't entered yet, so I'll be 199. But yeah, All-Star Pro, we've got 912. America Pro, just under 340. Asia Pro seems pretty low considering they're giving out 28 cards, basically a 10% chance of, not too bad. Under 23 rare, 100 cards on offer, 700 participants. And then All-Star Rare, we've got 9,000, which is pretty bulky. And then going into a few of the Super Rare divisions, what we probably won't care about. But yeah, I've had to do a bit of adjusting in terms of realizing that a load of my Japanese under 23 guys have been playing in this tournament basically, and they're not back because they're playing a third playoff or something, is what Sean was telling me, PSU fans. So I've had to adjust things. So I won't be playing any Super Rare division this week. I'm strictly under 23 rare. I'm under 23 rare pro, and then I'm going to be all-star rare pro basically, and then I'll throw in a cheeky threshold team. But yeah, I guess, me and you decided yesterday we are going to do a bit of an under 23 pro battle.
Yep.
Battle of the under 23s. I'm going to go ahead and build my lineup right now because I think I know what it is, just because I know what I can't play. So it's not that difficult basically. So I'm going to build that now. We'll get yours on screen. And yeah, I guess, the viewers can take their pick on who they think is going to finish higher and stuff. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. Maybe it's something like comment on the video itself when it goes live who you think is going to win. And then out of those who do get it right, we'll pick a winner effectively. Something along the lines of that. And then, whoever sort of gets the lowest amount of points in this division between me and yourself will give away some sort of limited card to the winner, basically. But yeah, basically my team's going to look something like Osako. It's going to look like Koga. The boos have started already. I was going to play Segakawa, but I've heard there's rumors of rotational situations, which I don't like. This well, not so much rotational, more he's going to not be starting. So I don't want to take the risk. I'm going with Frankie Amaya, who's been shocking since the Jesus Christ, the hate's coming in thick. Up front, we're going big Jesus after his 4 goals for the US. We're going to go, I think, weirdly enough, my best team is going to be my under 23 rare team, which I don't normally do, but because of the super rare situation, I'm having to kind of not take it light on you, Quinny, but take. I'm joking. And then it's Tsunamoto. So that's basically going to be my team, I think.
Double defend.
I'm going double defend. I could go Seo Young Woo, but what I will get into is I'm basically going to go stronger in my under 23 rare team. I'll show you that quickly because I know exactly who that's going to be. But yeah, ultimately, it's basically Seo Young Woo, Enzo, Mitsuta, and Pablo Ruiz, which is basically a better team on paper, I think, and probably has a better chance than doing more than the under 23 rare pro team. But like I said, with the super rare situation, I just don't fancy. I don't really fancy myself without. I wanted to go 2 super rare defenders, but it doesn't look like I'll be able to. So yeah, I'm having to go with a super and a rare. But yeah, what have you got going on? Should we get your stuff on the screen? Do a cheeky request, and then we'll get you going. Here we go. Okay. Boom. Wow. Boom.
So that's what I'm going to rock out with. Double mids, supers.
Yeah.
Thiago, I don't know if he'll start, but it's not too big a problem as long as he gets a decisive. I'll be happy with that.
Who they playing?
They're at home to Colorado, so nice. I'm hoping it's a good game. Ronnie Dyler's just left. The number 2 is now in charge, or not the number 2, but one of the coaches there. So international break. I think a lot of the guys have rested at NYC. Not a lot of them have had to go away. If any of them really, I think defenders like Chanot and Callens were away. Sean Johnson, but all the attacking boys, I think have pretty much stayed. So I don't know if he'll start, but I'm hoping for a decisive, no matter how many minutes he gets. I think Acevedo's got a good shout at starting, and he's been scoring well when he does start. He's been playing right back a bit as well, and that's been a wee bit cheat code when that's happened. So maybe that continues. Barco's Barco. Tolkien's good and coming back into fitness, and Tanny's Tanny.
Yeah, no, I like the look of it. I couldn't really work out how good this River fixture was. I know they're away, but Sorare Data's telling me it's a very good fixture for them. So I'm sure Barco's going to do something there for you. But yeah, guys, if you are watching, like I said or mentioned already, comment below on this video. I'm not sure if you can do it right now because the live. Can you do that? I really don't know if you can.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure you can
Yeah,
just leave the live chat and go and actually submit a comment. I'm pretty sure you could do that.
I couldn't remember if you couldn't do when the live chats happen. I didn't know if you could do a comment as well, but maybe you can. If you can, perfect. If you can't, then it's a bit annoying.
No, you can't. No, you need to wait till the live's done and then leave a comment.
There we go. Yes. Okay. So wait till the live's done. But basically, comment your gallery name and just say who you think's going to win. Harry, Quinny, and we'll just sort of take it from there, basically. And if you do get it right, if there's 10, 15, 20 of you that get it right, we'll put all your names into a random generator, and one of you is going to win a limited card. That's basically how that's going to work. Also, leave a like on the video and subscribe to us both if you haven't done so already. I do, obviously, what we both really appreciate, I'm sure. Just looking at some of these comments here, Japanese under-21s are playing the third playoff on Saturday, and they'll be back in game week 284. That seems like ages. Jesus Christ. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Okay, so that is that. Do you want to show us the rest of your teams now, I guess? And then I'll go into building my final two, which won't really take much time, to be fair.
Well, that's the big one, probably. We're getting Polish Paddy up front.
I like it. Yeah, I've watched him play a few times. Yeah, he's a nuisance. I'll give him that. He is a nuisance.
He's he's energetic. And, if he gets chances, I fancy him to take one or two of them eventually, but I don't think he's been getting too many.
Eventually.
Callens and Sean John, hopefully they're okay and back from international duty and all the rest of it. Callens is not going to the World Cup, so I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been partying after that. I'm pretty sure he'd have been home nice and quick and on the training pitch. And then double super rare mids again. Ki-Sung Young.
Zamboni saying Kamala's suspended, Quinny.
No, that can't be right.
No.
I'm away to check. But I'm pretty sure I've checked this and quadruple checked this. I think this might be a troll, by the way. I hope it is. You booked in the last game. Shit. No, he's only on 4. He's only on 4 yellows. I don't know where they're getting that from.
Okay.
He's only on 4 yellows. Where did you see that? Yeah, I've checked everything so many times at this point. I hope I wouldn't be wrong. But he's on 4 yellows, so if I'm wrong, it's down to not knowing the rules.
The coach said it, apparently. Or was that economist saying that Zamboni said it? Oh, Jonathan said it as well. Jesus Christ, they've come for you, Quinny. What is going on here?
Right, I'm away to investigate then. Twitter. Yeah, no, well, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have
we got a replacement for him, or will that have to be Andrade? And will that change things in the under-23 pro competition?
It'll screw me over big time. Actually,
will it?
I'm really thin on strikers, so I would need to. No, I would be bringing Johnny Russell into this team.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd leave Andrade, but Kamala is suspended for the next game. While the disciplinary summary, which was released yesterday, doesn't mention anything on it.
Interesting.
Clearly has to improve their communication. This is from a Sorare manager as well. It's 8 spades. 8 of spades. We now learned from the Red Bull coach. Yeah, because he is only on 4 yellows. Stuber, Kamala, the situation with the confrontation with the goalkeeper. For me, it was very close but very clean from Patrick after the game. The rest decided it was a red card. I cannot say any more. Oh, so he's got a yellow somewhere. Then after the game, they've VAR'd it to a red.
Oh my God!
Great catch, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a great catch.
That's a great catch. I'd have been so bummed out if that ruined my best team.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So, no. Thiago's going to stay then. That's fine. But it's Polish Paddy is getting dropped, unfortunately. And then, so this team I don't know if it gets better or not. I didn't go for Russell in this game because he's away from home.
Okay.
But, he can still have equally a good game. But I prefer to back guys that are at home than away, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a weekly team, which is the rare specialist. And it's just, I don't think the goalkeeper, I think, has lost the job. And then the rest of the guys are like, meh, especially Cameron Harper. I don't expect him to get minutes. But now that I know that Kamala suspended, maybe he does get minutes. I now need him for my rare pro team all of a sudden, which is very weak with a Cameron Harper on the top rather than a Russell. unless Harper gets a decisive, because he's got a decisive in his last 5 games. He's made 4 appearances, 2 of them he had as a decisive. So
it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
But yeah, one of them he was playing like left wing back or something, and he's a forward. So I don't really know what the script is with him, but he's getting minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fault it if he's getting minutes.
So this is now air quotes the best team: Johnny fucking Russell, Seb Leggett, the boy, Ki Sung Young, super rare, and then the NYC at the back.
Like it.
The Eve getters, Captain Morgan. It's an okay team. If Harper gets minutes, the Eve is in the bag, and hopefully we get a bit unlucky and maybe pull a card. This is probably the team I'm the most excited for. I went and bought this Barry Allen Limited just for the specialist because I had his rare. I had his rare, mate. I won his rare last season, and I didn't sell it on so many opportunities because it was worth dog shit. And I was like, no, this guy's good. I'd seen him a little bit last year.
Good.
And now he's in form, and he fits. He's an underdog qualified card for the specialist, so his L15 is under 40, and his L5 is hot. So I was like, I'm buying this guy's limited because I kind of know he's actually all right, and it was like 17 quid. He goes in with Talis Magno, hopefully Heber, the super sub, and then Gillen's on great form with Corinthians, and Carlos Lampe is also my... Oh, no. If I get 2 underdog qualified, actually, maybe I can make this better, because I think Lampe's L15 is at 89.
Jesus Christ.
He's only played once, so I think I thought he would be underdog. I think I thought he was going to be underdog qualified, but he isn't, and that's why I had to go and get the Barry Allen, I think.
Got you.
So yeah, I'm hoping that team does, but that's probably one of my favourite teams for this game week. I'm hoping that's...
I like the look of that, yeah.
I think
that's a funny story with Burrell. I watched him play probably about, obviously over a month ago now because of internationals, but it was a random night. I was watching Cincinnati and noticed this guy was on set pieces. I was like, okay, he looks young, he's small, like he's agile. I was like, okay, I'll search him up. Saw him on the game, obviously, and the new cards had come out at this point. And I texted Sean, or on Discord, I said, Sean, like, who's this Burrell kid? Because I then noticed that Sean had a super rare that he won, and he was actually playing him in that game week. And I was like, he was just like, some decent center midfielder, whatever, winger for Cincinnati. Obviously plays on a poor team, whatever. And then no exaggeration, he scored in that game then. And I was like, I bought him before he scored. Luckily, I think I paid £117 for him. He's actually my all-star rare captain today, and I've had him ever since. And Cincinnati are really bad, but ultimately like you said, he's picked up form and he takes set pieces, which I don't know how it's gone under the radar so much.
I don't know if that'll stay. I think when Matarrita comes back, that might change because he's the set piece guy in the team. Like he's
okay. The set piece guy. Luciano Acosta is as well, obviously being like 3'9". There's no point in being in the box, obviously, but he's got. Obviously Acosta's right-footed and Burrell's left. I don't know. Is that Ronald guy left-footed?
He's a left.
Is he? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. But wherever I'm seeing right now, I'm actually really impressed with.
Really nice, isn't he? He's a tidy player.
Do you know who he reminds me of? I know he's having a bad sort of spell in his career right now, but Asensio. He plays exactly like Asensio in the sense of
Asensio.
Yeah, he's a quality player. Like I know he's obviously at Real Madrid and hasn't really planned out for him over the last few years, but what a player in terms of technical ability. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Hopefully my silent micers can move on and get some game time elsewhere. Jesus Christ. He's like this guy's like the left-footed silent micer is probably the best way to describe it if you've seen them play. But okay, yeah, I like that.
Limited, and then the last team's All-Star Limited. I went and picked up a Thiago Martins to fit into this because I think Yaimar Andrade is injured. He missed midweek. I had like 3 DNPs in this stack, and Yaimar, I think the other 2 were rested. They'll come back in. But I think Yaimar has some sort of injury, and this guy again was like 20 quid or something. It's a great limited to pick up from auction, and he will out of the 3 NYC centre backs. Like I think the 2 starters are Callens and Martins. Callens and Chenot went on international duty. This guy didn't, so he's like the safest defender in that team. And they're at home against Colorado, so I think it's going to be a good game for NYC. And I thought, if we cheeky limited, I could just go in there.
Quinny, the people are telling us the Rudiaz is injured. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, Jesus, again?
Apparently so. I don't know what's going on. What is going on? I know he scored last week, right? Or this midweek, sorry.
Yeah, I just checked all that stuff.
What is going on?
Why didn't I see he was injured? Yeah, he did. He just scored. Did he come off the pitch injured or something?
Hamstring out for 2 weeks. Oh, my God.
So let's see if we got somebody else. I think we do. So I don't think that's too much of a problem. I'll make Morris my forward, and then thanks a lot, guys. Man, I'll use 2 big ones, by the way. So we're gonna get Morris in for forward. I don't know if you can still see the screen or not. Yeah. So Morris in for forward, and then extra spot. Yaimar's out. We know that. Shuto Abe, I think I might throw him in, or Alex Roldan. In fact, I might play him. He was a recent reward, and I think he's fit and playing and stuff. So yeah, maybe
I think so. Yeah,
he fits in. But this Shuto Abe, this guy plays like all the time, right? Look at his. I'll show you because I'm on, right? It's on my screen, isn't it? I won this guy, right? He's a wee crappy limited, right? But look at this guy's scores. Like, he does not score below, like,
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
that's
the most symmetrical graph I've ever seen.
How tight is that?
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's such a tight graph, you know. So I know what I get with Shuto Abe, and he's got a 95 in the last, like, you know, game week or something.
Yeah, so, and they're playing Shonen, who
they're playing
Shonen, so
yeah. And I'm listening to who is that I'm listening to now? It keeps talking about Tokyo. Is it? I think it's Chani. Chani keeps talking about.
Yeah, I think it is Chani. Yeah, he's got the defensive stack, hasn't he?
So I've got Shuto Abe or Alex Roldan. I'll go with Shuto Abe. Right, let's put him in a wee crappy rewarder one. Let's see if he can churn and burn with FC Barcelona.
Yeah, no, I like the look of that.
And that's me. I'm just going to be fixing training teams, so there's no point having a look at that. But yeah, who do we just drop? Rui Diaz.
Yeah. Well, I'll show the people my All-Star Rare Pro team, which would have been a under 23 Super Rare team somehow in terms of a couple of the pieces that are in here, including Tani and Cho Young Wook. Obviously, the rest wouldn't have been. But yeah, my Super Rares this week are all over the place. I've got a George Campbell Super Rare that I'm not convinced. He might start for Atlanta, but I'm scared that he won't, so I don't want to take the risk. I've just gone for a semi-safe All-Star Rare Pro team with what I've got left out of my under 23s. I'm not unbelievably happy with Pomykal in the sense I know he's not going to give me really what I want from a midfielder playing in All-Star, but I've got the Shonen defensive stack, which have been quite good recently.
Yeah. I don't think you can play Pomykal. I think he's away with America. I was listening to Sorare in the States. What day is it today? Thursday. It comes out Monday, Sorare in the States. So 3 days ago or something.
Sure? I don't think he went.
I'm pretty sure they were talking about Pomykal being on the under 20 men's team.
Oh, I mean, he's 23, he can't be.
I'm pretty sure he's away. I'm pretty sure they said Paxton Pomykal.
And he's literally like 23
Did they say
years old.
Or were they or maybe they're talking about him in another context. I'm sure they're talking about
Paxton. It might have been Paxton Aronson, but
maybe I'm thinking maybe it was.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I don't think Paxton is involved in any of the US setups right now. Anyway, he might have been, but
I think you might be right. I think it might be Paxton Aronson that's come into my head. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, yeah, I'd be shocked if he was involved with the US setup. Just being, that it's that awkward age, isn't it? 22. Unless you're with the first team, you ain't really with anyone else. Basically, is unfortunate. Like this is how it goes. Obviously, with under 21 football.
I've just got the Rui Diaz news into my group chats and stuff. So that news is only like 40 minutes old, really. So that makes me feel
wow,
better.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was going to say I'd never.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great catch, that is, to be fair. But yeah, I like the look of this All-Star Rare Pro team that I've got running. It's not going to light up the world, but it just keeps me ticking over. Like I said, I could have turned it into a Super Rare under 23 with like Cho Young Wook, Tani. I could have risked a Segikawa Super Rare, but questions. And then midfielder-wise is where I'm struggling because I've had to move a Maya into under 23 Pro. So yeah, it just doesn't really make too much sense for me to just like stretch the boat out with under 23 D2 or Super Rare. And then All-Star Rare, I think Palacios is actually still injured, to be fair, but he's my only rare defender left. This Utah fella was one of my rewards. Again, probably doesn't start. Burrell captain, and then Aikida might play, might not. But yeah, I'm not sort of in the market to really, or I'm not really in the running to warrant any ETH. I don't think this week. But it's a bonus if I get it. I'm really sort of focusing on my two under 23 teams. This sort of period is the period I've been really waiting for months. I bought my Super Rare Tani, even though I'm not playing him in under 23s right now. I bought a lot of my Super Rare guys 5 months ago when I sold that Vinicius Souza for this like little period where J League and the MLS and obviously the South American leagues all sort of combined for a few weeks, and I just thought I could really capitalize on winning things around this time, basically. So it's crunch time for me now. It's just, Nishio, one of my super rare defenders, injured. So, when pieces aren't there, Yuito Suzuki away with Japanese under-23s, Daiki Matsutu, however you pronounce his second name, away with the 23s. So it's caught me on a time where, like, I can't all play them this week, unfortunately. Like whoever said in the chat, game week 284 looks to be the next sort of game week where I can get everyone back. Santa Boys has just written me for the Sekigawa pronunciation. Yeah, I'm not going to get all these names right, guys. I'm sorry. I speak too fast to even care about getting these names right.
Sekigawa.
Yeah, Sekigawa. At this point, it might not matter what his name is because he ain't going to start for me, I don't think. So his name could be Lionel Messi. It doesn't look like he's on this starting team sheet. So yeah, for Antlers. But that looks like to be me for this upcoming game week. Team wise, are you going to do a Sorare mega team?
I'm not doing mega. I actually did a Sorare Data 11 earlier on.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, it's funny. I was just thinking when you were talking there, pretty much the same thing that I've been, especially over the last month or so, kind of thinking about the shape of my teams and my gallery, whatever, for this non-EU period, if that makes sense. And when I went through, the kind of magnification's a bit screwed up on. Oh, there we go. That's lovely. I don't know if the share screen's still on or whatever. 2 seconds.
Yeah, we'll get you on.
Oh, beautiful. So when I actually made this team, it's actually pretty much the only cards I have that have a match. As you've seen, actually I need to change this now. Kamala's out. With Kamala being out, I'm so thin. It's really weird, right? Because I've been really thin in Champion America forward for ages, and I still am, even though I've kind of like purpose built like 3 teams. But fucking Kamala, I'm hoping to get a heavier because I know he'll be cheap, and like I don't mind a guy that will be on the bench and get 20 minutes every week. Like I don't mind that for the All-Star Rare team, and then like once a month he scores a goal or something, great, I can deal with that. But I've not got the appetite to go and get another like Johnny Russell to come in to my non-EU setup. I'm kind of set with what I've got now. I just need a wee bit more padding for this kind of nonsense that you can't account for. But yeah, so I've went with this typical Barcelona 3-4-3. It's actually, on that note, by the way, anyone who's watching, it's my club's 2-year anniversary on Monday. There's a beast of an episode coming out on the channel, first thing in the morning, thank you very much, with me, Hendo and McBride. And then later that night, there'll be a tweet that'll announce all this properly tomorrow, but later that night, like late, 11 o'clock British time, I'll be live streaming with me, Nellis and Laird. So Monday should be a lot of good fun. I hope you have a good time. But the FC Barcelona philosophy, tactics, and formation for the SD11 is always 3-4-3, and we've just about managed to get a decent little 3-4-3 out. I quite like my back 3. I think it's pretty solid. My midfield 4, I think it's got decisives and some okay AA to it, so they could all fly away. That'd be nice. And then the front 3, which now I need to drop Paddy and bring in Harper. Actually, do you know, I actually might need to go against club tradition and philosophy here. Put an extra man in midfield. Maybe that's what we do. Yeah, put an extra man in midfield and then let's get Parks onto the pitch or something like that. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Or Wanyama. Okay. Oh, Wanyama. I know, I'll go with Parks. I'll go with Parks. Wanyama's a bit more fun bucks. It's in there with Key. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll put Andrade up front with Russell. Magic, that's actually a nice wee change. I'm happy with that. So we went 3-5-2 this game week. Barcelona are moving with the times. We're trying to keep up with the latest in football tactics and evolution. We'll put Wanyama on the bench, and then I don't know if I've got a forward for the bench. I don't think I do. I think I need to put Kamala, but I know he's suspended. Oh, no, I can keep Harper. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, 2 up front. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, I've got Harper here now. Sorry. Oh, yeah. So that's the only side game action I'm getting on this game week, to be quite honest. But yeah, I do need a heavier. I need a little other backup striker guy that can fill in once in a while and whatnot. But yeah, so here's hoping we get a good SD11 run out as well. 3-5-2. It'd be a new experience for me. Let's see if it works out.
New formation, yeah. Fair enough. What's this now? Jonathan B. Are all the US players back from international duty debating playing Zimmerman? I mean, I'm risking Ferreira. I imagine so. They probably got back Wednesday or Thursday. Is it Wednesday they played? I think they played Wednesday. And then you'd like to think they'll traveled back today. Yeah, I'd be shocked if they don't play on the weekend. But they might not play. It's hard to really judge. MK says, is this a new rule where when there's only one region running, there's no gas tournament? Is that true, Quinny?
No, gas is always open.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That I think they're getting that from the game week calendar thing. Because I looked at this, and game week what was it? Game week 281 seemed to show me that there wasn't any like gas open, basically. Like it was just, I think I'm right in saying Asia because K League are on. I think that is the. Let me try and find it on. Yeah, I'm not sure how true it is.
That would be a new one.
Thought there had to be two regions open for gas. Oh yeah, Foythy says the same thing apparently. Interesting. I'll try and get it up now. Here we go.
That would make sense, I suppose, but that's a new one on me. Or maybe something I've just forgotten. There's so much stuff.
Game week 2. So this is game week 281 apparently, and they're the only things that are open.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, well, game week 281. Just as soon as we get to game week 280 and we're getting some action, and then the midweek after that is honking.
I know, they absolutely kill us.
I think we'll get a lot of MLS games coming up over the next month, like midweeks and stuff like that. I think the MLS calendar over the next month or two. Also, that's going to impact on the K-League or whatever, but just in general for us, like I think the way the scheduling is for MLS this season, like there's going to be frequent midweeks, and every team gets like the same amount of midweek fixtures and blah de blah. Some at home, some away, and all the rest of it. So if there's none this midweek, then like that's crap. But there will be. There will be tons.
Yeah, this is so game week 283 is another basically carbon copy of the game week 281, but just America for Asia, I guess. So that's interesting to see. I can't remember the last time we've seen that where like there's no gas open.
Yeah, I never noticed that. I never even clicked into the calendar. To be honest, I actually remember the tweet that came out. I never clicked into it. I think I was. And then big weekend, we've got it all happening.
Yeah, huge weekend, game week 284. What do you think about this, the Apple and MLS deal?
Oh, mate, I'm going to make a video about it tomorrow. But I think it's amazing. I think it's quality. I think punchline is like, I think MLS has been shaping up over the last, since like, is you and most of the people watching this will probably have an idea of it. I've been watching MLS like a fair while, but like, especially since I've been like really exposed to it over the last 2 or 3 years, you'll be the same. Like the strides have made, like, in terms of like reach and engagement, which are really airy-fairy words, don't really mean anything, right? But like the organization, the perception of the league, the standard of like who they're bringing in, the transfers they can actually action now. Like Thiago Almada's a huge deal if we're bringing in over the line. Even Brenner, when Cincinnati brought him in, was a big deal. And Insigne, at the age of 30 or 50, there's so much progress that they've made in America. I think every football lover from afar has always said, oh, imagine America took football seriously with the pool of athletes that they've got access to, blah, blah, blah. And it feels like from a corporate and organization standpoint, like the way the Super League stuff comes around, right? The motivation for that and who it benefits and why, and some of the actual real benefits of those situations to the end user, like the neutral fan. MLS already has all that in place, no dramas or anything like that. And I think MLS is going to be, maybe if this Apple deal works out the way I think it will, maybe say give it 2 seasons, 3 seasons from now. So it's this the 2022 season, 23, 24. So by like 2025 or so, I would very much imagine MLS could potentially be like that kind of background league that everyone watches, like kind of like the way, not to say it's the same thing necessarily, but that way, I've not been in a real workplace for a little while now, right? But there's just always a guy that, or you can go into work the next day and you might not be a boxing or a UFC fan, but maybe the guys at work were talking about it, so you watched it because it was on the telly and you could, and it may be one of those leagues where it's like, it's just fun for everyone to watch. You don't need to care that there's no relegation. You don't need to care that there's a designated player situation, and you don't need to care about these things. it's such a level playing field for all of those guys, because everyone who's not in America, you can just be at arm's length from it and just enjoy it for what it is. It's like, you know, we take the relegation stuff and the DP stuff into it, it is like censored football, if you like, compared to the stuff you get in Europe and South America. And I think that Apple, because the Apple deal is everywhere, every game, like, you know, everywhere. You know, that's, I don't think any league in the world has global exposure like that. So being in like every Apple house, I don't think Apple's the biggest network necessarily, you know, but it's big, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the exposure football wise for that league is now incredible.
Yeah, I agree with most of the things you just said then, and I think on top of that, it's just like there's so many people that live in America, right? Obviously, there's other sports that, you know, take a lot of that audience up in terms of who they support and stuff, but Americans, from my understanding, of being living here a little while and stuff, like, and most people in the world anyway, it's just like, obviously they'll have their baseball team, they'll have their this team, they'll have their that team, and then now maybe they can add an MLS team into that armory, if that makes sense, you know, because it doesn't coincide with American football. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously a completely different sport, run at different times of the year and stuff. So like, I just think there's a lot more scope now with this deal, and it just gives it credibility. Like when a big company like Apple are partnering with the MLS, I know the MLS is a brand in itself, obviously, and trying to be a global one and what have you. But Apple's, like you just said, is huge. like it's probably the most recognizable like technology brand there is, arguably, or maybe not even an argument.
Is Apple TV like? I don't know if you're an Apple guy, Harry, so I don't know if I'm asking the wrong person, but is it available on like an iPhone? Can you get Apple TV on your iPhone?
I'm pretty sure. I'm an Apple guy, but I'll be honest, I don't actually have Apple TV. I don't know how it really works. But I imagine
I know it's a box, but I wasn't sure if you could maybe get it on your iPad or iPhone.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You must be able to. Maybe we're just spitballing.
Jorge Vargas in the comments has nailed it. He's you have to enjoy it for the pure chaos, and the MLS are setting up for the World Cup. I make him dead right. And I think America, the MLS institution, like, they will want to become, and I think it's their opening stated ambition, a top 10 division in the world, top 20 division in the world. They definitely want. They want the kudos in world football. They produce talent, and you know, we've seen it in Sorare firsthand over the last year when you see guys like Pepe, Busio, all these guys, Caden Clark. I know it's not really worked out the same way as those other ones, but you know, they're really proud to sell people. They're buzzing about it. They're like, yes, 100%. We sold a guy to that team. How quality is that? Because that's all they want. They just want to be in the party. They want to be recognized for what they are and for what it is, and kind of brought into the fold. And I think
they've started the race later than everyone else, really, haven't they? You know what I'm saying? Like the league race. So like they're gonna be behind.
But see,
like player wise, aren't they? No, you're
see the stuff like, see if me and you were like air quotes normal people, right? And we were like, I fancy watching a game of football tonight, and you stick on a random Serie A match. There's a high chance, or Bundesliga, any European league that's on the TV worldwide, there's a chance it's going to be relatively drab and dull. You know, it might be AC Milan against bottom of the league, and they're just camping in, hoping they don't get battered. But MLS, like some of the problems in these other leagues as well, where you stick on Bayern, watch them pump somebody 6-0. MLS doesn't have any of those problems necessarily.
True.
You know, like,
very true. Yeah.
Every game, like, you could just turn on any game, you get and it might be boring, it might be 0-0 or 1-1, but there's every chance it's going to be 4-3, and 2 of the goals are going to be worldies, and they'll go viral, you know.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of like a lab environment where they're like, it's like you said, it's controlled, isn't it? It's like they're like basically guinea pigs in a weird way, where you know, they're not allowed to like smash each other, and they're not allowed to be boring games. There has to be somewhere in the middle, like you said, a 2-2, a 4-3, a 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? There needs to be action. It seems like they've kind of developed a formula where there is action all the time. Not to say there's never 0-0s. Obviously, there's going to be outliers, of course, but you know, in that sense, it does gear up to be like you said, I'll turn a random MLS game on at any time of the week or whatever it is, and it can be somewhat entertaining.
Especially when the DPs are like worth watching. You know, if it isn't you're like, oh, Insignia's in the telly. And you've got Orlando top behind you when Nani was playing. It's like, oh, Nani's in the telly tonight. Anything could happen. Nani's in the pitch, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of factor. Buzzing.
100%. No, it's a big deal. And I'm sure somehow Sorare will benefit from it. And some, you know what I'm saying? It can't be a bad thing for exposure and worldwide exposure in that sense, because how long's the Sorare partnership? Did they say that was 5 years, or am I just completely chatting up my ass? I can't remember.
I don't remember dates.
3 maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, I'm sure.
Mr. Vargas again in the live chat, make him right. It's a strong tactic from MLS is they want to be an intermediary between River Plate and Boca in Portugal, and move them up, and they can be the ones to sell them on and profit from them. And I think MLS is like a good league for what it is, and I very much enjoy watching it. I think the Apple deal, it's just accessibility. It's not no nonsense football in the same way the Premier League is or whatever. It's no nonsense football in the sense that you don't really need to pay that much attention to it to enjoy it. You don't really need to care. Oh, that's my team, or you can literally put on Colorado Rapids against Vancouver Whitecaps, two of the most unsexy teams on the face of it, and it might be fun to watch. Yeah,
no, 100%. I completely agree. Like I get times I'll watch some games, and this is coming from somebody who's played football not at a decent level, and it's like I see some things I'm like this is crazy. Like you do, but that adds to it. That is the entertainment value. Like these guys, some of the guys aren't that good, and I'm not. That's just being brutally honest. They're not. But then you got some amazing guys like Insigne coming up. Like you got the DP guys. If you watch Carlos Gil play, it's just really fun to watch. If you appreciate technical ability, then you're going to enjoy watching a Carlos Gil play. But equally as much, there's some players in some teams where you're like, how is this guy a pro? I get those. Yeah, and you get that many in a lot of leagues, but ultimately there's a lot of them in the MLS. But the best one probably is Kellen Rowe for Seattle Sounders. My roommate is a Seattle fan. Don't know if the Ladero top is here, but he used to go watch Seattle as a kid and stuff, and he just completely hates him. He's American as well. Just thinks he's the worst player in the world. And it's just like, I don't know. I've watched him play. He's not horrendous, but you look at him and go, I see how you're in the squad. I don't see where you stand out, but you're a bit of a utility. You're like a really, really MLS version of like a James Milner, but nowhere near as athletic and nowhere near as good, obviously. But just little things like that. But that all adds to the entertainment, I think, is. But us Europeans are spoiled, though. We're used to the top 5 leagues in the world, so we're going to see the best quality football. I then go watch MLS games, and there's a significant quality drop. There is. It doesn't matter what way you want to shape it. There is a quality drop, obviously, because they're playing in the MLS compared to the top 5 leagues. But that doesn't mean to say it's not as entertaining. They're different conversations.
It's not like the whole. It's not that it's it's like the whole league's on a lower category, but watching them play each other isn't like
boring,
because
they're all on the same level, basically. Yeah,
I'm with you.
100%. Yeah, no. I think it's exciting times for US football, grassroots as well, on a whole, basically, and I'm sure there'll be a force to be reckoned with, to be honest, nationally, like in terms of their national team as well. I'm not saying their team's not bad, like not good now, but in the next 5 years, I'm considering the US to be like a top 10 team. You know what I'm saying? Like ranked quite comfortably. Yeah,
I think the rankings they can get top 5 because of the region they're in.
100%. Yeah,
they can spank up the points, no problem.
Yeah, 100%. No, they've got. I
think Mexico have been like 8 before and stuff like that.
Oh, I can see that. 100% can see that.
Make it 8, but no, it's access to committed athletes, and the college structure for like the flaws it has or whatever, but that whole kind of program mentality of like you take your sport that seriously and you mix it with studies and you mix it with being serious and all the rest of it, yada. Like it's got a really, and I know the standard is down football wise, but like even the worst guys, like they're like decent athletes. Sometimes you watch like lower end football and some even like maybe a top flight in a European country, but some of the guys are just not that good at very much. But at least in America, the right back sub that's not that great at football is an engine, and he'll run and he'll tackle and he'll head and everything. And
there's something I've experienced that firsthand out here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, like I come out here as a European, player coming to play college, and it's just one of the biggest things I noticed was the fitness of the American lads. They're just different gravy. Like technically, I'm more advanced than them, but that's just the way I play anyway. But ultimately, fitness wise, they completely blew me out of the water. Like I was like flipping. Like this is a different ball game because they're just playing a different type of football and fitness. You'll notice in the D1s, I was only playing D2 out here. if people don't know, you got D1, D2, D3, and then you got NAIA, which is the junior college. And D1 kids, like most D1 kids playing in the US are US, like they're from the US most of the time. And they're all just fit as fuck, basically. Nice. They'll run all day. And it just keeps them in the conversation, you know, and it's great. Like I'd love to be one of those unbelievably fit kids. I'm just not. But ultimately, it's such a good, like a benchmark for kids out here, because they play 4 different sports. So they're always super fit growing up. You know what I'm saying? They might not all play every one of those sports, but they have the choice to play those 4 big sports. And it's sort of like you said, they end up choosing one to go into college wise, and sort of the one that they think they can excel best at and have a career at. Or, you know, sometimes people don't want to, they want to take the educational route, which is sort of personal preference and opportunities, isn't it? But yeah, no, it's very exciting times for the US. It really is.
Stratsy here saying it might be a play by Apple to go and get some more packages. Well, Amazon have La Liga, so like maybe there's going to be some sort of like turf war
package
for
war
football rights on the internet, you know, because like watching it on Sky, like if I pay for Now TV and BT Sports for in here, right? But like the way the world is now, Fire Sticks and Chromecasts, and no one, unless people are like, oh, I'm going to move house, oh, I'm going to go get a Sky Dish and go get a Skybox, or I'm going to get cable plumbed in. Less people do that now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's maybe not necessarily Apple, but maybe we're going to see a bit more of a Netflix, Apple, Amazon like clamber for and it's actually funny, I don't like giving the guy too much credit. Sometimes he's a bit pompous, but I listen to a lot of Talk Sport. I've not listened to a lot recently, but that's one thing I hear that Simon Jordan talk about. He always says, I think it's an absolute golden idea. He's like, the Premier League should just make their own, air quotes, Netflix, you know, and sell it as an app around the world, Premier League Live or whatever. They would make an absolute...
Yeah, why haven't they?
Forget Sky, forget BT and all that crap. Just make your own app.
Cut them out.
Sell it around the world, £20 a month. Who wouldn't pay £20 a month for every Prem game?
100%. Wow, yeah, that'd be ridiculous. I don't see why they haven't.
But yeah, so I think that that train of thought that probably took him to that conclusion is the same train of thought I've got now, in the sense that like it's moving away from boxes and packages, and it's going to be all these apps. It's going to be like, oh, if you want to watch Serie A, you need Apple, and oh, I've got MLS and on now, and that kind of thing for sure. Stratsy, I'm with you on that.
Whew. Sorry, lads. Hay fever's killing me right now.
Hay fever killed me earlier today, man. I was just driving about, and it was just the screaming. It was just coming down my face. I was just out to swim as well, and it's like, oh my god, the hay fever was brutal.
I'm in a bad way over here. Jorge says, almost every athlete in high school. Yeah, almost every. No, I was just saying about every athlete in high school at least plays 2 sports. He said, but the biggest thing I've noticed out here is like high school, like sport compared to like us Europeans, and especially in the UK, sport's not taken anywhere near like as a priority. Back home, like teachers would be like, "You're not going to make it as a pro football player. Get into history class right now, or your bum's getting spanked." Where in America, this is it. You're going to go and play D1 soccer if you practice 5 days a week with your high school now, not like your club, your high school, and we'll do all your work for you. It's basically how it works. The teachers let the athletes just run riot in terms of like educationally. They'll do the bare minimum, and they'll give them A's across the board if they're like, you know what I'm saying, if they behave well, you know what I'm saying. Back home, as you know and I know, it's the complete opposite. But yet we produce better football players. It's weird how that works, I think, in a weird way. I know we have academies and stuff. It's a different process, of course. But that's you know what I'm saying? No, it is crazy though. I think it is crazy how out here everyone wants it comes back to like the American dream sort of situation though, where like everyone wants their kid to be the next big D1 player, or LeBron James, or you know what I'm saying, like whoever sports star. But like it's just perception and sort of just a different way of thinking. And I think I'd like to adopt that. Like I want that for my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like not to say the education isn't important, but ultimately if you think and sort of know deep down you want something in life, back home they don't really make you think that you can get it. It's basically the best way to describe it, I would say. Where out here, it's just like you can be whatever you want to be. Just put in the work, turn up every day, and you got half a chance. It's basically how it works out here. which you'll know. You've obviously got family out here and stuff, and yeah, it's just different world, different mindset. But
I've managed to, I'm lucky enough to have coached a few American kids. And I say kids, they were all at like university, college age, so like,
yeah.
And one thing I noticed with all the ones I coached, I'd say all the ones I coached, they were all like super obedient, highly respectful of like the coach and the situation. Like with the teams I coached, like some guys would call me Jonathan, some people would call me Quinny. They'd be like, oh, and then some people, but a lot of the foreign players, and especially all of them, it would just be coached like straight off the bat. They wouldn't ask you, or it would just be that's the kind of thing, if you know what I mean. And I think that as a part of it also is that kind of like you're saying, that application, and it's like kind of it's just taken, not in a bad way, but it's just taken so seriously, where it's like, and I say it's a respect thing. Like there was a team we used to play. I coached university football for a few years. We used to play St Andrews. Well, we'd play lots of universities, of course, but St Andrews was one of our big rivals. I didn't like St Andrews. I didn't like getting beat off them so much. Not that it happened that often, but it's funny because when you go to St Andrews, it's such an awful away game because it's such a long drive, and the kickoff times are normally like 2-3 o'clock, maybe 5 if you're lucky. So it's always an awful away day for a start, right? But a lot of the kids that play for that uni, because it's a very wealthy university, St Andrews, if anyone's not aware, it's very well to do. Their whole football team, like soccer, their whole football team is American, and they're all on like scholarships and stuff like that, because they're rich people, families and whatever. Or maybe not scholarships, but they're there for like St Andrews stuff, and I think the Prince is not. Anyway, so when you play St Andrews, like they've got a really good coach, it has to be said. The guy is like top notch. But that whole team, like you can tell, like you could wrap blindfolds around 11 of them, and their game wouldn't change too much. Like they know where everyone is. It's all like, okay, start from the, it sounds dead basic saying it there and I'm talking to you, but it's just, so obedient, so like regimented and drilled. Like this is the plan. We're the team. I don't care if I'm the right winger or something, that's my perception. And that's normally a good route for success. And whereas the problem here sometimes, whether it be like you say in school or something,
attitude.
Is the whole discount thing. But as well, it's like even pals and stuff like that. Like I don't know if I've maybe mentioned this story at some point, but I've got a pal I grew up with who was like scouted by like Chelsea and like big teams in like Europe and that as well. I don't remember exactly who. I don't want to say who in like in case it's wrong, but really big teams. And then he got cut when he was like 16 or something. But he was getting cut from like Chelsea and Celtic and that at 16. And then he went, nah, bag it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you're not finished. Like you could go somewhere else. Like it's like nah.
They make you feel like you're finished though. From my own experience, like I didn't get released from that high of a academy, but you know what I'm saying. It does make you feel like that the world's just completely just closed in on you. Yeah, it's something that it's really hard to speak. Like I've had to deal with it all my life, to be honest. But it's a crazy feeling. It's really strange, especially to go through as a kid. Though it's unbelievable. Like you said, though, on paper and from the outside looking in, it's like, yeah, you've just been released by United. Why can't you just go to League Two? But you would, the actual like the feeling that it gives you, it just makes you feel like you're just completely useless. Basically, is the best way to probably describe it. And we've seen all those documentaries come out now. Like the BBC did one, like helping kids after they get released and stuff. Yeah, like there's just no they. So when I got released and stuff, and when probably over the last 10 years, there's been no help for kids who get released. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of guidance, you've got to figure it out on your own. And I'm not saying, let's feel sorry for me and stuff, but ultimately there hasn't been any like care packages for that sort of thing to happen. But I think isn't that Jordan, the Palace guy, hasn't? I think they're the first club to bring in some sort of aftercare, basically, in terms of like if you do get released, there's there's massive guidance there for you now. Where before, that was not the thing at all. And I mean, like you're gone on your own.
Scotland's not been too bad for that stuff, to be honest with you. A lot of my pals that get signed for like smaller, like Scottish teams, part of the thing is like it's kind of you get paid, So I had boys up here. We called it pro youth. I don't know where it's called, but you get signed at like I forget what age, but it's early high school. Let's say 15 or 14, and you get paid like 30 quid a week
on a scholarship. You call it, yeah.
And then if you're really good, you get paid like I don't know. I was never one of those people, so I don't remember what you get paid.
No, I know exactly what. Yeah.
It's not much, and but part of that is like they need to do jobs and stuff like that. So like the club will be tied in with some local businesses, and it's like, right, we're sending the youth team down. They're going to pack boxes or we're sending the youth team down, they're going to pack the lorry, or, you know, whatever these boys have got. And it's a kind of old school thing. I don't know if that still happens now, but I know there's some more blah, blah, blah. We've been right down the rabbit hole today, Harry.
Yeah. No, I mean...
on youth development and football cultures and nations.
Yeah, it makes a difference, I guess, from talking about random cards on the blockchain. But
the guys in the chat are talking about expansion. I think MLS will probably expand to about 30 teams.
With relegation, you think?
Nah, I don't think they'll do it. They've got an MLS 2 thing starting. Maybe they'll toy with relegation of some sort, but I don't think they'll ever have it, for the simple reason that no team is going to accept being in Division 2. You know, even if it is like an MLS Division 2 and there is some sort of even kind of fake promotion, no one's going to sign up for it and go, that's fine. We'll be in Tier 2 because we did crap. They all want to be in this.
The top two.
It's just this division. Stop trying to Europeanize it. That's what they'll fit. We're happy with that.
I mean, in a way, it makes them unique, does it? In a weird way.
I think it could get to the point where the conferences are separate. You could do home and away in the conference, and it would be like 32 games in the season. I think it could get to that point. Potentially with the territory that they have access to, and then maybe you do playoffs, like maybe, I don't know, 6 teams from each, and then that's the only time. I don't know if that would be a fair. I don't know. It gets complicated, but I think it could get big enough where that would be something that could be considered as keeping like a full domestic calendar in conference.
Yeah. Jorge says Liga MX/MLS Super League with relegation.
Could happen. I think they are toying with the idea of it, because I say they want to be included. They want world football to recognise them as like as something. Powerhouse. Maybe they think we can't do that without relegation, so maybe that's the way they're moving. I don't think they want. I think they want to, because they make a lot of money from selling franchises. MLS. I don't know if you've seen the numbers on it. I read something last year.
I don't know the numbers exactly. Yeah.
Oh mate, it's crazy. I read this thread. It might have been Swiss Ramble. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but that's an amazing account to follow. It's called @Swiss Ramble. It's just the way it sounds, and he's a like forensic accountant type guy. All he does is football, like accounting. Might have been him. But anyway, let's say New York City and then in City Football Group. I can't remember what year they were founded, which is actually really bad, right? But let's say it was 2015 or something. That franchise cost $300 million, right? Charlotte, I don't know what the price of Charlotte's franchise was, but it's like 4 times the price. So when you become a franchise, you pay MLS like a joining fee in essence.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And I say when City done it with New York, it was like 300 million. And now Charlotte's is like 3 or 4x that, at least.
Wow.
You know,
that's unbelievable.
That's to sign in, you know. So I don't think MLS want to relieve themselves of the maximum amount of those fees they can get. If they think we've got another 20 cities to go into, and each one of them will need to pay $1 billion or fucking whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're not going to chop their arm off for relegation on that.
No, for sure. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I just got this Swiss Ramble left now. Go on.
Messi, like the latest rumors with Messi to MLS includes him getting a slice of Inter Miami. So
yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
So like, you know, the way that, imagine that was the way it evolved. You give Messi a slice of Miami, you give Ronaldo a slice of fucking Charlotte or something to get him over there or wherever he would go, etc., etc. Do it over the next 10 years. See if you have like a bunch of like legend players all bought into these mad teams and stuff. Like, it's a profile thing, you know, but it's like, that's
huge.
That's Beckham and Messi's team. And then, that team that's fucking Zlatan and Ronaldo's team, you know, and it gives it an extra something to it. And then maybe you get some weak sparky comments between Ronaldo and Messi, like, my club's better than your club. And, you know, or, I don't know.
No, 100%.
But it's another avenue of, you know, things it could do.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. J. Cole says, for 0.17 ETH, do you think Bobby Shuttleworth is a decent ETH grinder since Guzan has got a bad injury?
I would not be going anywhere near the Atlanta goalkeeper situation for as long as possible. Rocco Rios played in the Cup midweek.
Yeah.
So that won't come up in your SO5 or whatever, but he played in some sort of like Liga MX.
I saw that,
against Pachuca, I think it was. They won.
Yeah.
Jose Martinez scored. And Rocco Rios Nova was the goalkeeper. So I would stay away. And they're apparently trying to sign somebody else as well.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I would just stay away from Atlanta goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Personally. But if you're up for it, you're up for it.
Take on the challenge. Okay, well, we're an hour and a half in. We're probably gonna leave it there. Just before we go, remember when this goes live, comment who you think's gonna win in terms of the under-23 pro competition between me and Quinny. Who's gonna get the most points? Just give your Sorare name and who you think's gonna win, i.e., Quinny or me. And then winner, if you get that right, you'll be then put into a draw to win a limited card. What else was I going to say? Yeah, that makes sense. And then that's about it really. What we'll do is, Quinny, I'll tweet out the teams. So if anyone on Twitter wants to get involved, they can head over to the YouTube video, then comment, if that makes sense.
Sweet.
You know what I'm saying? So people on Twitter can see as well. And we'll sort of take it from there. But lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all 27 of you that are still here.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I think Harry's just lost his internet. Thanks to everyone that came to the stream. I don't know if Thanks for having me, Harry. I don't know if you can hear me. I think Harry's dropped out. I don't know if the whole stream's dropped out. I don't know if I'm hearing myself talking to myself. Maybe I'm talking to you. Maybe I'm talking to nobody. Maybe I'm talking to everybody. Who knows? Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Harry Trades. Stay out of trouble. Smash it up this game week. And I think I've got a feeling I'm on this stream by myself now. Oh, Harry's back, maybe.
I think I'm back. Am I back?
I've got a blue screen for you, Harry.
You got a blue screen for me?
Yeah, I can just meet
a
purple screen.
Yeah, I can see.
Jorge Vargas, perfect ending. At least it wasn't me. Last time it was my camera that overheated and some funky stuff happened. And this time it's Harry.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is struggling right now, lads.